And I was ready to buy the place.
To buy the place of
The
the
printing,
printing
Morty's place. I was going to buy the place. That was the goal. I didn't just go there and work. I was learning the business to see if it was viable and we could print all the books there. And it was a great spot.
They brought me to the printer. I translated the Michtav Rebbe Nachman.
מכתב משמיים.
No, I think it's Michtav Rebbe Nachman, the original Choveret that I went to pick up with Sharon in the area of Tel Aviv. He said, "Here, I need your car or something. Let's go pick up this Choveret." And this is after the red book that Chizki did, and maybe Label knows about, that big, gigantic red book, which I gave away to my ex-son-in-law. So I don't have it, but that was original 2,000 red books that Chizkiyahu Mamash printed for, like this big, 2,000 of them. When you go visit Saba and Sfat and Rechot Sal, there's tons of those books there, There were tons of it. But afterwards, they did a Choveret called Michtav Rebbe Nachman, where it showed like all the ideas. I think it was like Sharon behind it, of that when Rebbe Nachman says that tzaddik, and when he says tzaddikim and everything, is all referring to him. And it's like it just goes step by step, where it tries to prove that the shear that the Rebbeinu revealed is he himself. It's Nachman. It like goes step by step to show you that. Like it's not anyway. So that was the first Choveret out that I knew of. That's right. It was the idea of printing. The second publication that I knew of, and it was very exciting. And we picked it up. So then I got this idea, which put in my mind. I want to translate this into English. So I had a friend, Menachem Koren, who Label probably remembers, who's totally out of his mind, but like brilliant. He got into Harvard, Yale, Stanford. In the end, he went to Harvard, but he also got into Stanford. He also got into Harvard. He also got into Yale, Princeton. Absolute genius. His father had a chair at Stanford University in psychology or something. He was like a chair there, and he could see Bush. Not the second Bush, the first Bush, he could come and see him. Anyway, it's a whole story that they got divorced with his mother and everything, came to Israel. I met him in Boston, Kollel. He was Litvish at that time. I brought him to Saba, and it's a whole story what happened to Nachum Korn. It's Mama Chappelle. But what was the point? The point was that what were we saying?
So how did this whole printing place continue? Like, what was?
Oh yeah, so I translated that book, The Letter from Heaven, into English, and then Menachem Korn helped me, and I had another friend help me, just to make it perfect. And then we raised the money to have it.
$2,000
We raised the money to have it
Printed.
No, set. We had to set up David Nakov, his friend.
Like the graphics, you mean?
He did the setting.
Uh-huh.
He used to work for Chaim Kramer. He was in the Shuk in Makan Yehuda.
Yeah.
He did the Kitvei Rebbe Nachman with Meir Yamina and Sharon coming in all the time, checking it, doing Haggah. They did the Kitvei Rebbe Nachman. He did that Kitvei, which is the smaller version of that big book.
So he's the one to help you with this letter from heaven to do
when that book was ready to be set in a form that it could be printed, he did that. I came to America, and then we raised the money. We went from house to house, Menachem Korn and I, one people 10 shekels, 5 shekels, 50 shekels. We got all the money. We got that 2,000 shekels, whatever it was. And the book was ready, but it wasn't printed. It was just a manuscript. So I come to New York to label. I have to remember why. Maybe I just called into Uman, and then I said, my wife is already in America. That's right, she left after Saba was here, after the war. So, and things were not working out for us here in Israel, so I was going to go back to America. I was depressed or whatever it was. It was the second time I did this. And then I met Label, if I'm not mistaken. No. I met Label. Label brought me to Saba in 1986. But no. There's a second time I was with Label, and that was in 1991. I have the book right here. It says exactly when it was. And that's a whole story of itself. I lost a child.
It's the hardcover, right?
That's the hardcover. I lost a
So
child.
I did the cover on the book.
He brought me He brought me to the printer. Label brought me to the printer. He said, "This is the one, the guy who does Mishnah Brewer and a few other svarim I have to remember." And he's like the main guy. This is where you have to come. You know, and I'm coming there. It's in the middle of like a Brooklyn neighborhood. There's blacks there, you know, stuff like dirty Hitler, you know. It's like I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm like a Connecticut type of person. I know what's going on. He brought me to all places in New York, Williamsburg. I didn't know what Williamsburg was. He said he brought me to where you eat. Here, eat here. You know. He brought me to this Jewish restaurant, maybe Yemenite. Yemenite. We would sit there and eat falafels. You know how much time I spent with Label? I mean, I spent a lot of time with him. You know, and where was my wife? You know, she was staying with her mother. You know, I mean, the Rabbi Meisel once said to me, you know, we were sitting there all on the Chag and I'm flying and everything. So I think I slept with the Meisels invited me for the Chag. Where's your wife? You know, all the women were there, you know, they look all nice and everything. Where's your wife, you know? I didn't know what to say. I was like, well, yeah, where is she, you know? I always felt that in Breslev. Like, one time I was on Har Zion for Rosh Hashanah, and all of a sudden, Yitzchak Goldstein, Rosh Hashiva, comes up to me and just says, you know, I thought I was happy. And he says, where's your wife? Like, you know, it's just like, you know, sometimes I felt, you know, that like this Breslev thing is like just for men, and I have mixed feelings. So now I've been out of Breslev for many years, and now I'm coming back. But I don't think I'm going to go back into in the same way, because I'm reading a book by Victor Miller. This is maybe not Shia, called Midos, who lived in Flatbush, who labeled.